Good evening, and welcome to SEC After Dark minus Corey Burton, because Corey Burton is taking care of a child issue at the moment. Once that gets handled, I'm assuming that he is going to come in and we're going to do the show as normal. But I am Stephen Willis, your temporary host. I'm here with Jeb Beecham and Jake Thomas. How's everybody doing?
I'm great. Jeb, I'm sure you're doing good too.
Yeah, no, it's been a long week. You can see I traveled, but I'm settled in and ready to
go. Funny story real quick about how my day went. Everything that I touched just went to absolute garbage today. When I left my house at 6 o'clock this morning, made me a cup of coffee. I was getting in the car, spilled all over the place. So I didn't have a cup of coffee on the way to work. And then the business that I'm in, I'm in the PVC business, so I sell PVC pipe and fittings for commercial jobs and stuff. Had a big, huge commercial job that I've already got some stuff in on, but it kind of got put on like hold or something. So I needed to get it off of hold, but I fat fingered it and deleted the entire ticket. So I had to retype the entire ticket up. So yeah, that's just how my day went. So I'm glad to be here. I just to get away for a minute.
Yeah, it's kind of a Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Today we're going to talk about early lines and TV listings, and the ESPN on ABC is off to an interesting start.
Yeah.
To say the least. And we're going to talk about some bold predictions that we have for the SEC season. So stick around for that. But right now, I do want to let you know that when we do early lines, it's brought to you by Bet Online. You can check it out all the time. They've got all the lines for all the games. You can bet props. You can bet futures. You can bet all kinds of stuff. It is at betonline.ag. Check them out as well. And I do want to let you know also, it's time to get Locked On Pickles. Stewart's Cajun Pickles, that is. They offer a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots and asparagus. Family-owned company, homemade on the coast of Mississippi. You can find all these pickle products online at thepickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market or other Southern Gulf Coast stores near you. Be sure to like Stewart's Cajun Dill product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, or beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickles. And also, hey there, college sports fans. Want to show your allegiance right down to your socks? DeadSoxy's got you covered with vibrant socks in your team's colors, whether it's purple, gold, crimson, or cardinal. DeadSoxy is the place to go. Found a pair you like? Subscribe for big-time perks like constant 25% discounts, early access to exclusive styles, and free shipping. Plus, they welcome new members with a free gift, so why wait? Find your new favorite socks at DeadSoxy.com now. Stay soxy, everyone. Hey, I got through those readers relatively easy. And interesting headlines this week. First of all, before we get started, Dabo Swinney is being a goober again.
Yes. Oh, my God.
It's like, come on.
Is this where he claimed that he got a bunch of transfers because all the high school kids were transfers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that transfer from high school. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You gotta love that guy.
Yeah, it's the most idiotic thing ever. First of all, high school signings, if you want to play the transfer portal game in the name of NIL, it's the most expensive to get. And the most expensive to hold on to because you have to renegotiate every single year. So it's 5 contract negotiations for a fifth-year senior. And whenever you put your team together in, what did you say, God's name, image, and likeness?
Yeah.
It's interesting at the very, very least. And he's just being an absolute goober. And because of that, I don't know. I mean, I almost don't want Clemson in the SEC if it means getting Dabo. He's that much of a goober. We already have one cult in Texas A&M. We don't need another. We don't need the Branch Davidians and Heaven's Gate all at the same time. That's too much crazy in one location. The ratio will get all mixed up if that happens.
Yeah, we're getting. I mean, we got one cult already, and we got one nearly at cult level, and that's Auburn. So We don't need that third one to pop in.
I don't even want to dislike Clemson. I want them in just for how much it's going to tick off the South Carolina fans. But
Right.
I mean, I don't think Dabo's worth it. That's like too much baggage.
Yeah, it's
way too much.
Horrible. Horrible. You just sit here and think about it, and you're like, why is he doing this on purpose?
Yeah.
He has to. This has to be a bit, right?
Right.
It does seem like there should be some diabolical plan here, but I couldn't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Not taking any transfers, claiming all your high school kids are your transfer class.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Exactly. Like some diabolical plan that he's lost the plot of. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore.
Yeah, he's
so weird.
It's like Dabo Swinney actually Dr. No. Is that what's going on? Is he Goldfinger? Is that his situation? Which reminds me, I need to go back and watch the old James Bond movies again.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea. Catch up on them. Refresh yourself.
Yes. But it's absolutely nuts. And
he just stand over there. No, Clemson, I expect you to die.
and like Clemson and Florida State, their ACC is having their spring meetings this week. Like the SEC is going to go after the baseball tournament down to Destin and have their meetings and all that. Well, the ACC's is going on right now.
Right.
And the commissioner of the ACC just basically said, yeah, we got stabbed by the Big Ten and SEC, and they're just letting us bleed out. It's like the SEC has done nothing to you.
Yeah.
We haven't done a thing. You allow press clippings in the media to put stuff out there, but the SEC has done nothing to you. It's the threat of action that is causing you to go absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
To act like a desperate girlfriend or a desperate, somebody that's absolutely out of their mind on their last wit's end. That's what the ACC is acting like right now, because Clemson and Florida State, they're completely over it. And they also know that 6 other schools are probably completely over it too. But those 2 schools or 6 schools is too chicken crap to announce themselves and blow the whole thing up right now.
Right.
I mean, at this point, I don't feel sorry for the ACC. I don't feel sorry for the Big 12. And I definitely don't feel sorry for the Big 10. Kind of feel sorry for the Pac-12, but that's only because it's a Pac-2.
And it's a Pac-2 now. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see the little logo now?
No.
I think it was a fake, but it looked like the 2 was like colored in with a crayon. It was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, that's funny.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was making a joke, and on tomorrow's podcast, the whole Locked On Ole Miss podcast tomorrow is about Jackson Dart and his legacy. And I joked about it. It's like Ole Miss needs to find a walking track somewhere on campus and make the speed limit on that track too. Because Archie Manning's, this number was 18. The speed limit's 18. In the parking lot, the speed limit's 10 for Eli Manning. They need to find a walking track somewhere and make the speed limit too.
That'll work. Yeah.
And I'm pretty consistently going to try and find out that info. That is going to be my idea, and I'm going to push it until I can't push it any longer. Although I think it would also be hilarious if the speed limit on campus was 2.
That would be fun.
Because you can't even idle 2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You can't idle 10 miles an hour anymore. It's just,
riding your brake in now. That
it would be pretty awesome, in my opinion.
Just have a cop say right the 2 mile per hour limit,
Do you imagine getting a speeding ticket because you were going 6?
Yeah,
6 miles an hour.
Did y'all see the early lines and the TV listings and all that?
I saw the TV listings. I ain't seen the early lines yet.
I ain't either.
The early line for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is actually an underdog right now to LSU. We talked about this last week.
Wow.
LSU's also favored over Alabama. I don't know what they see and what's going on, but LSU apparently gets 15 points in Tiger Stadium. And
we talked about that last week.
I was going to say, y'all both have to go there, but still, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the Georgia game, Ole Miss is like a 7-point dog, but his favorites over Oklahoma. and Florida, which they should be favorites over Florida. Florida's not very good, even though they got Kermani McLean to walk on. As a walk-on, they got Kermani McLean.
That's wild.
That's a pretty big get, and that's just because they're already at their 85 and they're out of room. So they're having to NIL this scholarship. But if you look at the TV listings, early part, heavy SEC lean of what's going on. Let's start off on Fox. Fox has no SEC contract whatsoever, but the first two big noon kickoffs that they have will be at the Texas and Michigan game on September 2nd and the Alabama-Wisconsin game on September 14th.
Yep.
All right.
I did see that.
Heavy SEC influence. Now, if you look at the ESPN stuff, the first week College Game Day is going to be in College Station for Texas A&M Notre Dame. They'll be also in Ireland the week before that. They're going to do College Game Day on location in Ireland. But, there's no Ole Miss games because Ole Miss doesn't play anybody the first 4 weeks of the season. But the people that do play, it's interesting to see how the SEC is going to be distributed on the ESPN family and networks. And it looks like it's pretty much going to be on ABC a good bit of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Georgia, Alabama's pretty early.
Yeah.
Alabama has Wisconsin right before them. Yeah, y'all got a fun schedule.
Yeah, Georgia's schedule's one that's absolutely ridiculous.
I was going to say, out of the four of us on this show, that's definitely the toughest schedule.
Yeah.
The Georgia schedule having to go to Texas, to Ole Miss, and to Alabama. Let's go ahead and do the bold predictions, get into that. My bold prediction is that Georgia is going to go 10-2 this year. And they're going to have the most talented team in the country, but they're going to end up 10-2. And they're going to lose 2 games between at Texas, at Ole Miss, and at Alabama. They'll lose 2 of those.
Okay. Jeb, you got yours ready?
Little hurt Tennessee's not being included in that list, but whatever. 2 games. All right, I get you. No, I'm kidding. If Tennessee wasn't traveling to Georgia, it might be different, but no. You mean just for Georgia? I could easily see 2 losses in there. It's hard to bet against Georgia while they're on this streak until they start coming out of it, but they got to at some point.
It's a lot harder now. I mean, there's no divisions. There's no SEC East to whoop up on. Sorry, Jeb, but
well, that's true. And it's definitely a tough schedule. I would be amazed if they came out of that with only 1 loss.
The new Vandy State Aggie Doors, they're over there. You always have to worry about them.
They don't even get to whoop up on Vandy. Oh, that's sad. Oh,
I got a bold prediction for Bama, and I think they're going to go 10-2 as well. But they're going to have a loss that is probably one that people don't think is coming. But I just have a sneaky feeling going to Norman, Oklahoma. It's going to be tough. So I think they lose that one.
The one that I would really worry is if I was Tennessee. I think Tennessee's the first team, the first SEC schools that goes into Normal in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just have a feeling they're going to checker that out or stripe that out, whatever they do, because they do something like Tennessee does the checker. And they're going to do that. It's going to be absolutely nuts. I think Tennessee played there like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and for some reason, I don't remember what else happened in our history, but Oklahoma does not like Tennessee at all.
Yeah,
we've had some issues with their fans and our fans clashing.
I think it's pretty simple. Yeah, they do not like UTs.
Yeah,
well, that's true. Maybe that's what it is.
They are bred to be against a UT that's orange their whole life.
Plus the Hopper situation too.
Yeah,
and that is their first SEC game. So. Yeah, that should be an interesting one.
Yeah,
what do I think? I think if Tennessee only has 3 losses on the season, that is a good season for Josh Heupel. That's my prediction. Is they lose 3 on the season, and anything more than 3 to me is going to be a disappointment. I'm being honest.
Name them.
Well, they're going to lose to Georgia. I'm going to say Georgia, Alabama. and Oklahoma. I'll give you Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Clay Travis had one of his patented horrible takes where he said that Tennessee was going to beat Alabama by 2 touchdowns.
Well, that would be amazing, but I am not going to predict that myself.
I had like a 24-0 lead last year.
I was going to say, if we beat Alabama, it'll be like that. It'll be barely and kind of last minute. And that's just how we do with Alabama.
That's how the history's gone, that rivalry.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Alabama will blow us out sometimes, but we don't blow out Alabama. It just doesn't happen. We have a better history with blowing out Georgia than we do Alabama. But no.
Do you see 2 SEC quarterbacks getting in the Heisman race this year and being up there in New York at the end of the year?
Let's see. I think it's a good chance that happens. Let's say Alabama has a good season. Jalen Milroe is he'll probably end up on the podium because that means that he performed extremely well. And if Kalen DeBoer can do with him what he did with
Penix,
Penix, you have to see. Now, I haven't seen the same level of quarterback play in Jalen Milroe as Michael Penix.
That's the big question mark.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how it does. But, Carson Beck at Georgia, he's going to be in it. They're going to win games. Quinn Ewers is going to win games. Jackson Dart is going to win games. So I think 2 has a chance to be in the top 5.
I agree.
I just don't. Georgia didn't tend to put up those kind of passing numbers, at least not very often. I mean, they have in the past, but just not here recently. I could see Quinn Ewers and Jackson Dart definitely being in that conversation, though. Both.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen Milroe, he's got to grow, but I think he has the potential to definitely be there.
He finished like 5th or 6th last year, which is crazy. But
that's true. But no, I think that could easily happen. I'm trying to think if anybody else has a really good quarterback. Tennessee's will be next year, but I don't expect him to be in the conversation this year.
Nico Iamalava.
Yeah. And then I know Florida brought in a freshman this year that'll probably be in the conversation in the future, but certainly not this year.
Yeah, he's from Willis, Texas, by the way.
Oh,
DJ Lagwa. Yeah, he's from Willis, Texas.
Who's replacing Jaden Daniels at LSU?
Garrett Nussmeier. He's a good quarterback, but he's not Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he's not Jaden Daniels.
Didn't Oklahoma have a pretty good young one too?
Well, yes, but Jackson Arnold is a very good quarterback, but he is a first-time starter going through an SEC schedule.
Yeah, so he's probably more in the future competing with Nico and DJ in the future kind of thing. Okay.
They had a good one last year that transferred to Oregon, I think. What was his name?
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
If he stayed, he might have been in it, depending on how good they would have had. There's comes Corey.
Ooh. No room for you, buddy. Sorry. Hey, welcome.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd see so much blood out of somebody so little.
Oh, my goodness. Bless his heart.
It's not that bad. He just he has a little tiny cut right here on the bridge of his nose. He picked at it, and he got blood everywhere.
Oh, my goodness. Don't you just love kids that get they just start picking at stuff? I'm like, come on.
Can't stop them.
No.
And I walk in there and it's just everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like getting ready to open everything and it's like, holy cow.
We got some we've already done early lines and TV listings. We are on to bold predictions. And we're just talking about the SEC and some weird things this year.
Why is the Georgia Clemson game at noon? I feel like that's because Clemson sucks. Is that why?
No, the Georgia Clemson game's at noon because the ESPN Disney owns every SEC game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so they need them at noon because at that same weekend they have Texas A&M and Notre Dame as the game, and they got Florida and Miami as the 2:30 game.
Florida
Miami could be fun. It really could. It could be legitimately fun.
And Georgia Clemson
gets fun for me.
Georgia Clemson gets stuck at noon.
Yeah, y'all kill them by like 30.
Yeah,
I mean you're probably not wrong, but
I'm not wrong on that. I mean,
so
Dabo's running his mouth.
Dabo's going to learn about transfers after that.
Yeah,
they actually are.
Yeah. Catch me up on the line stuff. What are we saying about?
Oh,
line?
we just talked a little bit about the early lines and the TV listings that came out.
Seems like predictions are Georgia's going to get steamrolled a bit this season. That's all right, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna get into that here in a minute. Bold predictions. That's a bold one. 9-3. That's a hot take right there.
Oof, that would be a fall.
we run the SIP bold prediction. Ole Miss will have the best uniforms in the college football. That is not a bold prediction.
Not bold.
That'd be a first.
Yeah, we talked about the new Vandy State Aggie doors a little bit.
Yeah, Vandy State, baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're crushing it in the portal. At least with one pipeline.
Yeah, it's like everybody. At this point, I think Vandy gets credit for a win in Jordan-Hare Stadium last year. I think that's the rules.
So there you go.
Yeah, so we're back to 500.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You know, Auburn takes the lead in that series and they just change everything. Vandy fans cannot deal with it. They have to, an insult and a slight like that, they have to get back at Auburn again. So they fix everything immediately.
I agree.
And they immediately go to the source of Auburn's greatest beatdown in 2023.
Mr. Poncho. My goodness, Jerry Kill. Oh, thank you.
I love that Vandy hired him because that's the best thing that happened to Clark Lee.
You take somebody that has no personality and add all the personality.
Yeah. I like your windscreen, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you got a new one. Nice.
Yeah.
I think they're still called windscreens on indoor mics, but
yes, they're still windscreens.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this was expensive.
Is that a new mic too?
No, it's the same mic. It's the same one I had before, anyway.
I guess I didn't know what brand it was. It was covered up by Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickle, but
yes,
yeah.
But it cost me so much money because this only in Europe is the windscreen logo thing. In the U.S., it's mic flag, very mic flag centric.
Yeah.
So I ordered this from a European country, which means it cost me way, way too much money. But I didn't care. I had it. Yeah.
You didn't get the big, enormously, obnoxiously.
Oh, that would have been fun. That would have been funny. But no, I did not.
Yeah. I've noticed that. Now that you mentioned that, I never really thought about it, but it is a thing. It is a thing. So bold predictions. If you listen to today's Vandy episode, my bold prediction is smash the over, like go do it now on the 2.5 wins. And I'm saying bowl game.
Bowl game of Vandy is a legit bold prediction.
Yeah.
Vandy
now,
bowl game is bold.
Yeah.
And I guess it would be like Birmingham.
I don't care what bowl it is.
You think Auburn would allow them in Birmingham?
Oh, that's a good point. They'd be fine for Birmingham.
Yeah, they are. They're one of their things is like being a Birmingham Bowl runner-up. That's like one of their claims to fame recently.
They got rings for that, didn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think whatever the last bowl is for the SEC, I think Vandy sneaks into it.
Okay, you want to hear my next bowl prediction?
What?
Ole Miss is going to play Oklahoma and Texas this year.
You think Texas? You think you're playing Texas in the SEC championship?
I was going to say that'd be the only way.
That's bold. Because Texas has to beat Alabama, Georgia, and Vandy,
which historically they've had trouble doing.
Struggle against me.
Yeah.
You think they beat Georgia?
Secondary?
No, Texas.
Texas? Yeah, I think they do.
He took Georgia losing twice.
No, Carson Beck destroys that secondary.
Quinn Ewers had a pretty good game. Oh wait, that was Alabama. Never mind.
No players will opt
bad.
You are absolutely correct there.
That is true, Michael.
There is nobody protecting their draft stock on that roster. And that is not a slight at Vandy. That's just Vandy knowing who they are.
Hey, they understood that. Hey, we're not going to be the most talented team, so we're gonna. I put out a theory, a theory that all teams use one of two models, and Ole Miss uses this model, and Vandy uses this other model, and a lot of other teams fit in that category. Georgia uses this first model I'm about to talk about. Alabama uses the first model I'm about to talk about. They collect the top players and just make it fit into what they make what they fit into that. And what Vandy does is they understand who they are and they say, okay, we're going to pick an identity and we're going to pick out very specific puzzle pieces. It's the puzzle method. Like we're going to get very specific skill sets, very specific puzzle pieces.
It's going to be 52 plays a game for Vanderbilt this year.
Yeah, they're going to try to slow it down. Well, they've added some, honestly, they've added some firepower on the outside. Like this one guy they got from Louisiana Monroe is, I mean, because he was on a crappy team, so you didn't really see much of him. Like, but he's kind of a dog. He's kind of got like an attitude about him. His name's Darian Wiley. He's gonna be good, dude. Him and Dylan on the outside, Jeremiah Dylan on the outside. It's gonna be.
I think Vandy is going to be a pretty good team, but they're going to have to slow it down.
Oh yeah. They're not going
down. Yeah,
they're not going breakneck speed. They're featuring quarterback run, which I think Nate Johnson has a chance to play a good bit because they're going to run Pavia so much that they're going to have to give him some breaks. I think those receivers are going to be good. The RPO game is going to be good.
Defense is going to be a Clarkley special again for the first time.
Yes, for the first time, the defense is going to actually have a plan.
Well, it's supposed to have a plan. We don't know for sure that they're going to do it.
They will. I mean, I don't know if they're talented enough to execute it all the time, but they're going to get after you. That kid from he's not really a kid anymore, but that dude from Purdue that they got, Corday Sindor, he's going to be a beast, man. Watch out for him.
I hate that Ole Miss is not playing Vandy this year.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is, you've played when you played them 100 times and it just goes away.
Hell yeah, Michael.
We all are.
That's just true.
You freeze.
Right. Bold prediction for Georgia. They go 3 out of 4. That's my bold prediction.
Gonna be tough.
National title, 3 out of 4.
Going to be tough.
It's going to be led by. I mean, it's a deep receiving core. Carson Beck is going to be a Heisman finalist. And the defense returns a lot of people.
A lot of people, like top 100 people.
But you got a tougher schedule. You don't get to feast on the SEC East this year.
It's okay.
That's when we drop the Vandy State Aggie doors.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. To be the man, you have to beat the man. Woo.
Are you talking about Billy Napier?
Sunbelt Billy.
LinkedIn Billy.
Yeah. We got
G5 Billy.
G5 Billy. We're going to win the Mississippi State championship.
No, he's not going to win. He's not going to win the Mississippi State championship.
No, Georgia is. I think Georgia plays Mississippi State and Ole Miss, right?
Listen, on my show tomorrow, I did a whole show on Jackson Dart. Okay, a whole show on him and what it can mean, and what we got to in the third segment, the last point, is the only thing Jackson Dart needs is to win the major game. He needs to win the big game, like Archie Manning did against Tennessee in '69 in the Jackson Massacre, like Chad Kelly did beating Alabama. That is what is on the table for Jackson Dart, and he has that opportunity with Georgia coming into town.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the country facing off. That's going to be a game, dude.
Yeah, and probably two of the best defenses, because if the transfer portal acquisitions that Ole Miss might get comes to them, and they're going to get even better on that side of the ball, because right now they're Khalil Jacobs, they're trying to work him at the moment. He's on campus as we speak, and then I think Chris, what's his last name? Chris Hardy, at Jacksonville State. He was an end. and he has a chance to come in as a depth piece, and that defense has a chance to be salty. That Ole Miss Georgia game has a chance to be what Alabama and LSU was for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
That is a bold prediction.
Yeah.
CJ Allen. The name to watch out for in Georgia's defense is CJ Allen. They finally have another inside linebacker. They took a year off between Nakobe Dean and now, but they have CJ Allen, who is he plays like Roquan Smith.
Newsflash: Georgia has good defensive players.
Yeah.
Right.
That is my bold prediction.
Bold prediction: Georgia has good players that will get drafted. Dude, Malachi Starks and CJ Allen are going to be first-team All-Americans.
I don't even care who wins in y'all's game. I just hope Ole Miss wears y'all out.
Yeah, because the next week.
Well, according to the SEC on ABC comic book thing that they put out, did y'all see what Georgia's was?
No.
It was a shoe. Now it was a shoe, but it showed him jumping in the air. But the shoe placement it looked like a dog, just flopping in the air.
Oh my god!
Solid.
Yeah. It's like that's not subliminal at all.
Yeah. Huh?
Was it red?
God.
It's either red or white.
Red Rocket.
Jesus.
And we're off the rails. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We made it 30 minutes.
Well, it was fine until Corey got on.
Yeah.
You knew that was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. Bold prediction: Kentucky is going to suck. I think
they win 6 games is all. Maybe.
I think
one of those is not against Andy.
No.
Gavin Wimsatt is going to win the starting quarterbacking job.
Mm-hmm.
Later in the season, I think Vandegrift wins it out of camp, and then
I think Arkansas does enough that Sam Pittman saves his job.
Oh wow!
I think
So
Mizzou
they
makes
got
the
to
playoff.
win 6 at least.
Yeah, I think Arkansas wins 7.
I think Mizzou makes the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they made. 12 teams. Yeah, I think they can too.
But
That's
what
true.
have they done to prove they can do it back to back, Jake? That's why it's a bold prediction.
I was going to say, I feel like they'll kind of regress a little bit this year. So
I don't think they'll be as good, but
They return a lot of people.
They lost
They
the
do.
piano player for the Peanuts, though.
right.
Linus.
True. They do. I feel like they overachieved last year.
And that is
Schroeder.
Schrader, yeah.
straight.
Well, it's Schroeder on the Peanuts.
Oh, okay.
Think of Schrader in
Who's Linus?
Missouri.
Linus, the one with the blanket.
Yeah, he's the best friend.
Yeah. And I remember Pigpen just because,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
he was a Pigpen. And there was Lucy. And
Peppermint.
then
Patty.
obviously Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I agree, guys.
Our assistant producer
Mm.
had spoken.
Although Missouri's schedule's not that difficult. They go to Alabama.
Well, yeah, going to Alabama is definitely not difficult,
No, I'm saying
historically speaking.
that's about their only tough one.
If they had a game changer coordinator, they would be a lot better.
Okay.
What about a
I
head
take
coach
it
of the
back.
defense?
Hey,
I'll take it back. Missouri might
Then
do
they'll
all
win
right
the
because
Senate.
their schedule is not bad at all.
this schedule's weak.
Yeah. But that's not because I think they're better.
I think that nobody knows what to. The funny thing is, nobody knows what to do with Alabama. Nobody.
Well, that's true.
And they could see it to where the 4 SEC teams that make the playoffs, honestly, I think the media would hope that would be Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Missouri, because then they can say the dynasty has fallen. And I think they desperately want that. But Alabama was in the playoff a year ago. So they can't do that. The quarterbacks come back. All the talent is still on the field. So you have to hedge that bet somewhere. So the ones that are hoping the dynasty is over is like, let's put Alabama at 15. And everybody else is like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And
And not only
but
are they bringing all that talent back, their head coach was in the playoffs. I mean, it's
He was in the championship game.
Their head coach was a half away from winning the national championship. They got Washington kind of fell apart there after halftime. What people don't realize is how good he was at Michael Penix was good when he got to Washington, but he was number 8 pick good when he left Washington under Kalen DeBoer. I presume that he's going to do the same for Jalen Milroe.
By the way, Georgia would have beaten Michigan in the national championship game by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And everybody pretending that Alabama was some kind of a measuring stick in that game. Alabama got lucky against Georgia. They did. I think Nick Saban would tell you they got lucky against Georgia. And Jalen Milroe, that athleticism was doing that.
Georgia couldn't protect. Georgia
went into that game against Alabama overconfident. They flat out did. The one time they didn't process, they got beat by the GOAT. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there is a legit possibility that Georgia loses 2 games this season. Let's say they lose at Texas, lose at Ole Miss. They end up in the playoffs as the number 11 seed, and they just beat the hell out of everybody.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I think that is a realistic outcome to where the number 11 seed wins the first 12-team playoff.
That'd be hilarious.
It won't be the number 12 team because that would be like Tulane.
Now, our bold prediction, is it going to be Tulane?
Memphis is in there. Not SMU because they're now Power 5.
Big 12, yeah.
Oregon State's coach is gone, so it's not going to be them.
Yeah. Stanford.
They're in the ACC. But if you're looking,
Georgia Tech,
James Madison, maybe.
Yeah, I can see.
That's a good one.
I could see it coming from the belt.
Oh, but their coach went to Indiana, so Cignetti's gone.
Coastal Carolina, I don't know what they've got.
No, they have a different coach. Liberty.
No.
Liberty.
No.
Liberty.
They did last year, and the quarterback's back.
They lost their left tackle.
Oh, well, that's going to affect everything.
It does. It does.
Not in their level.
No.
When they're just better than everybody they play.
I'm just trying to find ways to say Liberty's not going to win.
Liberty. I like Jamie Chadwell as a coach, and he is just crazy enough and cultish enough to take over after Dabo leaves.
Oh,
that would be Clemson's best move. By far would be let Dabo just spin himself off the planet and then get Chadwell and just feast. Chadwell's good. I hate that he's at Liberty. I can't root for him right now.
I love that offense. I love it.
The offense is phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
The offense is great.
I can sit there and watch that all day. It is the way that football is meant to be played. Modern college football should be running variations of that offense.
If Clark Lee, if we get worst case scenario on Clark Lee, I would like to see Vandy hire him.
Vandy couldn't hire him.
I know they could.
Vandy's a graveyard. You would get Jamie Chadwell's offensive coordinator as the head coach of Vandy. Even though the offensive coordinator is Jamie Chadwell. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You could get Buster Faulkner at Vanderbilt.
But Vanderbilt is such a coaching graveyard. Yeah, I mean, if you take that head coaching job, you're taking it for a buyout and then hoping that you can get a coordinator job and work yourself up. And if you have success there, you're going to get a payday immediately. James Franklin's like, yeah, I got the Penn State job because I wanted Vanderbilt.
Right.
And
they were in the top 25 with him.
Yeah.
They were back-to-back non-win seasons with him.
Yeah.
Well, Vandy's actually participating in NIL, just so you know.
Yeah, which may actually help. It's teams like Vanderbilt that I think it'll help.
Somebody woke somebody up over there and was like, hey, we should start paying attention to athletics.
Yeah.
I mean, Vandy's got the money.
Oh yeah,
they've got NIL money. Like they're not short on money. Yeah. They've been crushing it in basketball too.
If Vandy decides that they want to win, like truly go all in and say they want to win, there will be a headache for everybody around.
They can do it.
Yeah, because they can absolutely sign 3 quarterbacks that demand $1 million apiece. And they could do it if they want to. The problem is they're not motivated.
No. But I think if you look at it and you look at what they have in the works for their new stadium, they're finally renovating the stadium for the first time since 1980. And that looks impressive. They're buying it. They're buying into basketball. They're getting recruits. They're getting transfer portal guys in basketball.
Tim Corbin's falling apart.
Tim Corbin is that baseball team can't hit.
Yeah.
The baseball team can't hit to save their lives.
NIL killed the Vandy boys.
Yeah.
And he better and it's going to force him into early retirement if they don't start actually saying, okay, we're going to participate in NIL.
I like that they're updating their stadium, but I kind of also liked everybody just playing under a scoreboard that was hanging by a crane. That was fun. I'm gonna miss that.
I mean, I think we can still work that out.
Yeah, there's a way to do that.
Y'all got a lot of engineers, fan. You just work that out where you can just keep that swinging,
just
scoreboard there.
We could Gary World style, but no dome. Just have a crane just sitting over the top. That would be.
Just make sure they're in a windy day.
Yeah. If you hear that snapping noise, everybody just run.
Right.
What talk about being focused? Hey, we got to finish this game, and this scoreboard's going to fall on top of us.
Yes. Too much.
Getting changed in a tent.
And honestly, if you look at the stadium, what's going on around Vandy football, when Jerry Kill and the New Mexico State players were there on a visit, they're like, "Oh my goodness, we are home. Mm-hmm. We have found a place more busted than our place. We can handle this."
Jerry Kill was like, "Holy cow, I'm
I'm exactly where I need to be. Where do I put the tattoo?"
Yeah, Jerry. Those shows where it's like, the shows on HGTV like Fixer Upper where they just find these complete dumps, and they buy them as is. Jerry Kill walked in and was like, "Yep, this is perfect. I'm gonna flip this house."
No, he ain't
he's
gonna
not
live
even
in.
About flipping. He's like, "Oh my goodness, this is."
I'm not gonna have to change a thing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And
God Almighty, like, hey, I'm just gonna bring my whole team.
Yeah. Jerry Kill's like the guy from the movie The Burbs that has the yard that nobody will go into.
Yeah,
where the old crotchety guy.
Yeah,
everybody was worried was going. That's Jerry Kill. Yeah.
That's John, to remind y'all more of the podcast I haven't done, but the jerk does that too. That's where he takes him into a little back room and says you can sleep in here and has a little cot in there. This is perfect. I won't have to change a thing. Just a little back room of a gas station.
Is awesome.
That's what it makes me think of.
Jerry Kill is the best thing to happen to that program. In all seriousness, he is. I think he's pushing all the right buttons with Clark Lee, and I think Clark Lee. I said this quote. Something clicked in his brain. He's like, "Okay, I got to wake up and actually coach this team."
Yeah.
What's Vandy's schedule? The first couple weeks of the season.
It goes. They could very well start 3-0. They open with Virginia Tech, they return a lot of people, but it's still Virginia Tech.
At Virginia Tech or at home?
At home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they have Alcorn and Georgia State.
Okay.
So they'll be 3-0 potentially when they play at Missouri.
Yeah,
if they're 3-0, they're going to be confident as all get out.
They'll be 3-1 after they face Missouri because Missouri is a tough place to win as is, and when Vanderbilt.
And then they got Bama coming in.
So they'll be 3-2 after those two games.
Yeah,
but
nobody say we're not an equal opportunity previewer if we're talking about Vanderbilt football.
Yeah,
exactly.
But after that, they got Kentucky and then Ball State. So there's 2 easy wins. So there's 5-2.
Yeah,
they
Carolina maybe
be 5-2. Yeah, and they have South Carolina. They do not play.
They go Texas, and then Ball State, and then they have the run of Auburn and South Carolina before they go LSU, Tennessee.
So those last 2 games they're probably going to lose, no doubt.
Yeah.
They
So
could
they need to
easily
be
beat
bowl
Auburn and
eligible.
South Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by game 10, they need to be bowl eligible.
Yeah.
They need to win 6 out of the first 10.
And it's
Which
very
they can do.
doable.
Which they can do. South Carolina doesn't have Spencer Rattler. They're in big trouble.
They are.
Yeah.
Auburn is in big trouble. And Kentucky is in some trouble. Because I don't know, like with Kentucky, like how that team responds to Mark Stoops getting in bed with Texas A&M before getting kicked out of bed at the last minute. Because they said no. I don't know how that team can. I don't know how that team's going to respond to that because like their coach actually left them. Mark Stoops actually left them before getting rejected.
So South Carolina's schedule, they open up with Old Dominion. I don't think that's an easy win by no means.
That's not an easy win.
Then they got to go to Kentucky, so that's probably an L. They got LSU, that's definitely an L. Then Akron, that's probably a win.
W.
Then they have Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, Vandy, Missouri, before they play Wolford and Clemson to finish the year. That's a tough stretch.
By the time Vandy plays South Carolina, they may not be playing Shane Beamer.
They might not.
Yeah, that's true.
South Carolina would be broken.
I mean, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M is probably losses for them. That's 4 straight losses when they get to Vandy.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good for South Carolina. If you're a Gamecock fan, not good at all. Not good at all. So you have to be kind of thinking in the back of your mind, hot board. Like, what are we thinking here for who's going to lead the team next year?
Yeah.
Because you got G5 Beamer.
I don't even know if he's G5 Beamer. He may be special teams coordinator Beamer.
I think he could go up into the MAC. I think he could go into the MACtion and run a solid program.
Here's a question for you. Kentucky opens up with Southern Miss. Is that an automatic win for them?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Yeah. Southern Miss is not very good.
They were a few years ago, but I don't know what they are now.
Yeah, they have a coach that likes to think that he invented offense, and he does stuff like playing Frank Gore as the quarterback and calling quarterback runs, but then letting him pass.
Oh, my God.
That's fun.
What
Kentucky is not that bad. Relative to SEC, they're bad. So, like, their first 2 games, I think they'll whack South Carolina too.
Yeah.
And then they get Georgia,
especially being a home game.
Yeah, and I think Georgia will wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, that will not be pretty.
So they're going to get 2 out of the 3 games prior to Vandy. 2 of them they're going to get their ass beat.
Branson Robinson's going to go for about 150 against against Kentucky that day.
Yeah. It's Georgia and Ole Miss, and they got Ohio sandwiched in there, and Ohio's not a terrible MAC team.
No, they made the playoff, or not the playoffs, but they made a bowl game last year.
Yeah, Ohio's good. Ohio's always really good. They're just rock solid, right? And then, they got Kentucky's got Vandy, Florida, and Auburn, so they'll win 2 out of those 3, which I think Florida and Auburn. Auburn's gonna be bad, dude. They're gonna be bad.
Let's look at their schedule.
Auburn's going to be bad.
Hugh Freeze saying he didn't want to pay $1 million for a quarterback and he was going to ride with who he has.
Dude, like Hugh Freeze.
I saw what he had last year, and Pete Golding played a simple cloud coverage for the whole game. A simple cloud coverage, basically a 4-deep shell, just giving you stuff under the middle and underneath. And Auburn was 7 for 21 passing the ball that day.
Yeah.
And
I can't believe Georgia struggled with them last year. I think it was just more of they just got discombobulated. But
yeah, I would say that happens sometimes. Just in a season, you have that game.
But
lost.
But Auburn is a glutton for punishment. Like, they're trying to lose the New Mexico State Championship because they have New Mexico this year.
Yeah, they got California, or they got Alabama A&M, which is a win. California, New Mexico, Arkansas, the next 3.
Cal's not a guaranteed win.
No, it's not.
Cal might jump up and pop them. They
Yeah.
they should have popped them last year, but they didn't have a quarterback.
Right.
They didn't have a quarterback.
And
And they had that weird delay.
And these ACC, SEC games, you never know how they're going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
And then New Mexico.
Oof. Yeah.
Go Lobos.
Yeah.
And then
Arkansas, maybe you get them.
Arkansas is pretty sporty.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Fayetteville or in Auburn?
It's in Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn's first 5 games are at home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. This is completely set up for them to start off hot, get so full of themselves, and then hope to get to a bowl game. Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
They're going to get absolutely mud stomped the next 2 against Oklahoma and Georgia.
And Missouri.
Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky will kind of go, but I think they'll be, by the time they get their ass handed
That's
3 out of
6. That's their Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
And then Kentucky could go either way. Then I think by the time they get to Vandy, they're going to be, they're just going to be worn out.
But they close with A&M and Alabama.
Yeah.
So,
which A&M, they ended up, Steve, they ended up signing Bostic. Did you see that?
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
The guy that we were
the Jacob Bostic. Yeah,
yeah, he visited Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. He had 0 catches in 2 years at Iowa.
but that doesn't mean he's a bad player. He was at Iowa.
I mean,
They probably just didn't know he was on the roster.
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody's throwing you the ball.
Yeah, there's no deep passes being thrown in that offense.
He's probably
I mean,
a heck of a blocking wide receiver.
I mean, their punter is their best offensive player.
They would just take 3 knees and punt.
Right.
By the way, I did a show like 2 days ago on punting and hidden yardage, and got nearly 2,000 views.
How did you frame that? Like, how did you?
Yeah.
I know Zach likes us doing takes. How did you? What was your take on that?
It was. Let me see. Let me think. Ole Miss not recruiting this position is at least weird.
Okay.
No,
Nobody recruits punters though.
exactly. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to talk about punters, but I needed to frame it in a certain way that it was not just, hey, we're going to be talking about punting,
Hey,
because nobody would pay attention to that.
Hey, the only other show talking about punting right now is Pat McAfee.
Hmm.
There we are.
Yeah.
For the brand.
For the brand. They actually did a live auction today and bought a 2002 Escalade on their show.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of fun.
Oh, okay. Why not?
It's Pat McAfee.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a machine now. I mean, Kalen DeBoer is a confident dude. He has everything to be confident about. I mean, he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a good team over there. And he's a good coach. Like, I don't know where these people are thinking like Alabama's going to fall down into the gutter. They're not. I mean, they're not going to be the Nick Saban Alabamas, at least for a year. But they're not going to go all of a sudden 4-8 because they got Kalen DeBoer.
No, the biggest problem I think he has is he's following a legend. But if he didn't have the confidence to come in and think he was going to do great, you know he would fail. I mean,
He
that's
would've taken
automatic
it
he
up.
would fail. Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
The only way he's going to be successful is to come in with that confidence.
mhm.
And he could probably do it. I hope not, personally. But
Again, like I said, I'm just worried about the fans' expectations of him. You know,
yeah, that'll be rough for a while.
Yeah, if he wins 9 games, just 1 year, they're going to flip out. Yeah.
They're gonna
Hey,
they would have flipped out on Saban.
FanDuel just put out their SEC championship odds.
Uh-oh.
Where's Vandy?
Vandy is not on the list. They
Oh.
didn't rank it.
Hell
They
yeah.
didn't rank everybody. So Vandy and Mississippi
bother.
State not on the list. South Carolina is though, by the way.
Is Auburn
Oh,
on
wow.
How's South Carolina on the list? They're gonna.
it? How is Auburn on the list?
They're ahead of Florida, South Carolina.
Oh my God!
So we will just count down. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 teams got a choice. So obviously Vandy, Mississippi State, and Arkansas are the 3 schools that are not on this list. It doesn't look like.
Wow.
Okay, so the bottom, number 13, Florida at plus 11,000.
Okay.
Oh dang!
Not exactly a value bet there.
No.
South Carolina plus 10,000. Kentucky plus 9,000. That right there is kind of a tier in SEC football. The next tier, you have Auburn at 5 plus 5,000. Oklahoma at plus 4,000.
Oh, nice.
Texas A&M at plus 2,000.
Okay.
Then you get up to the next tier, and you have Mizzou at plus 1,500. Tennessee at plus 1,100.
That's right.
LSU at plus 1,000.
Oh.
Alabama at plus 950. Ole Miss at plus 650.
Okay.
Texas at plus 310. And Georgia at plus 185.
Listen to FanDuel, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that too much.
Listen to FanDuel. FanDuel's trying to tell you guys.
Texas and Georgia and Ole Miss. I think it's going to come down between them three.
Yeah,
I still think people have LSU too high, but other than that,
I do too.
Yeah, I don't know what people see in LSU. Last year with that defense, if they didn't have Jaden Daniels, they'd have won 6 games if Garrett Nussmeier was the quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
True.
Now Garrett Nussmeier is going to be the quarterback, but they're expecting the exact same results. And
it ain't going to happen.
That just, whenever you lose the Heisman Trophy winner and 2 first-round wide receivers, you don't just be okay. Both of LSU's top running backs gone as well. I mean, Harold Perkins is good, but he's not that good.
Right.
I mean,
but I do like Nussmeier. I think he is going to be a very serviceable quarterback, and their offensive line is legit good. But the defense is trash, and Brian Kelly cannot get people to replace the ones that they left off of a trash defense. To the point where you're saying we don't buy players. Yeah, if you could buy them, you would.
Right.
And you got to wonder how they're going to replace the receivers they have to replace. I mean, I know they've got good ones in reserve, but when you got great ones that leave, the next ones aren't going to just step in and automatically be amazing. Usually.
No.
There's usually a step back.
Yeah.
And they're definitely going to have that step back for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that there's a chance that Arkansas finishes higher than LSU this year.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
That is bold.
I think there's a chance that Arkansas finishes higher than LSU.
I don't know if I'm ready to go that far.
Yeah, me either.
Well, you never know.
If LSU's defense doesn't get any better, you're talking about a 5-win team.
Yeah.
So Arkansas doesn't have to do much to finish higher.
Yeah. It's true. That is true.
All right, Cassidy, let him know.
Yeah, go ahead and tell him, babe. While we're waiting for that, who's going to be the bottom dweller in the SEC this year? Florida?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, okay.
Oh, yeah, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mississippi State's going to try, but it's going to drive people crazy. This is a program at Mississippi State that has been built off of running the ball and defense. Mike Leach broke them mentality offensively, and now Jeff Levy is going to completely blow up the defense. They are going to lose their mind the first time they have to win a 55-53 football game, and it's going to happen. I lived through that world. I saw what happened, but they're going to lose their mind when they have to do that.
But hey, at least they hired an Ole Miss assistant. Right. All right, 2 minutes. Well, sorry for being tardy. But this is SEC After Dark. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. We actually stayed on the reels pretty good tonight. So if you like what you heard, follow us, rate, review, all that good stuff at SEC_After_Dark on X. Make sure you follow all of us. You can start with Jake Thomas at Tide Talk Live. Soon, hopefully, to be Roll Tide After Dark or whatever you want to call it. But we're building the channel here, and so it's going to be
Ole Miss After Dark is coming within months.
Yeah,
it's coming.
So it's starting. So Jake Thomas,
Derek Vandegrift, Dalen Flowers. We're going to have a whole bunch of people doing that show under that brand.
That's good news.
Okay, that's good news. So it is beginning, but in the meantime, if you want some good Alabama content, check out Jake Thomas and Stacey Blackwood They do a phenomenal job there. Jeb, whenever he decides to do a show after his Ole Mills photo shoot, after he gelled his hair for us tonight, he'll likely rock another podcast here. And Stephen Willis, you can find him everywhere covering Ole Miss. He is just I think he just lives on the internet.
I love it. I love this so much.
He has one of those rollaway cots that he just sets up in the inside of the internet, and he just sleeps there because he's just there all the time. And so
I'm everywhere.
So he can you can catch Stephen Willis at Locked On Ole Miss, and you can catch me everywhere too. But I wear a bunch of different hats. Like I change hats. Like I'm the guy that does a lot of costume changes. You can catch me at Locked On Vandy, at Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, at Coach Burton 36 on the X account. So we all join forces here on SEC After Dark. We're trying to grow the After Dark brand. We're not just sports, but that's going to be what we are. So until next week, hopefully no surprise nosebleeds in the meantime. But we'll catch you back here next week better than ever. As always, behave yourselves, guys. Go Dogs. Anchor down.
Hotty toddy.
Go Vols.
Roll Tide.
Fight on.
Wolfpack.